scale of the item you have there was, but how much would it take to scale up to a commercial size?
So currently, and so this particular technology is built, pre-manufactured in India and shipped by regular shipping. So it's basically modular, like an erector set on site. The scale of that to be able to, be transported over the road in normal situation gives about 150 tons per day per module, which is reasonable. So you just add capacity as you need it and as you want it, right? I mean, maybe not, you might not want to go 100% of the waste stream initially, so kind of grow into it. Ultimately, though, this is kind of where it is now. Ultimately, if we're going to get to a point of fabrication on site and things like that, which would be another generation of scalability there, then there's really no limit to the scalability. Technically, there's no limit to that.
I have a question for Dr. Welch. You mentioned waste to SAF or sustainable aviation fuel. Can you maybe describe some of the feedstocks that if we were to implement a sustainable aviation fuel type of project, that we could possibly use within the state?
So, I mean, and here I don't know the full definitions of that. It wasn't really my area, but my understanding is that there are regulations, maybe by the EPA, that define how much of the feedstock would have to be of biological origin for it to qualify. So I think that's what it is. It might be 65%, something like that. Yeah, so that's basically what they're doing with that. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Any other questions? Are we good on time? Yes. Oh, good. Okay. Wow. Well, sure. Go ahead, Thomas.
Don't worry. Thank you. And I think this is probably best directed at Jake. How significant and how do you deal with kind of minor contaminants that are in the paper stream? For example, I get envelopes in the mail that have the little plastic window in them, and I used to always put those in my paper recycling thing, but then I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Do I have to tear the little window out? How crazy do I got to get with the paper?
Wow, how much time do I have? So look, in a perfect world, we would love it if everybody did that. Look, I used to have a full head of beautiful hair before I started this job, and it's the contamination really, it causes a lot. But the window in a mailer, it's such a small amount. And let's face it, we don't get that much mail anymore that's got the windows in it. So that example, it's really not the issue. If you look at, I'm just going to throw out some easy back of the napkin math. Let's say that we push 1,200 tons in the pulper each day, and it's half mixed paper and half OCC. The OCC is generally pretty clean, right, for the most part. It's got some tape on it, some staples and stuff, minor contaminants. The mixed paper, the industry calls for 3% or less prohibitives. It's pretty darn tough to do these days. I mean, several of you that run MRFs here, you could raise your hands if I said as you're inbound 40% residue, and there'd be some hands pop up. It's a lot to, yeah, there you go. It's a lot to clean out. It really is. So it's the bags that wind up. It's the cans. It's all that kind of stuff that really gets us. Another myth or misconception too is we see some packaging come out and say, well, this is recyclable. Well, it's bubbles, but it's got paper on the outside of it. Look, if it's got two things mated together, landfill it. It's just not. It's part of the wish recycling, right? There you go, gasify it. This gentleman on the end has the answer, but it's part of the challenge. We're seeing more packagers do that, and it really ultimately becomes a longer, more expensive path to landfill in that case. So, but don't tear your windows out; they're okay. So,
where is gasification being used at this time?
So, by and large, it's used for higher value waste streams. So typically for hazardous chemical waste, and that's another thing for a municipality. In my county, they want to get to a point where we're not exporting anything, right? So this can handle the community's hazardous chemical waste. It could handle the medical and biological waste and all of that. Where is it done? So India, Pune, India has a hazardous chemical plant that was doing it. In Midland, Michigan, Dow had a facility or has or had. There's a facility out in Arlington, Oregon, doing on a waste management landfill site designed to do medical waste to produce hydrogen for credits for the hydrogen economy out there. So there, and then there's the sustainable fuel in Nevada. There's a company in Canada called Enerchem. They're doing sustainable aviation fuel and also chemicals. So there are a number of these things happening. It's kind of catching on, and the whole idea of methanol as the output is really taken off. So you guys might want to look at the Methanol Institute online. There's some good reports on there about all the applications for methanol. So that would be the ultimate market for this stuff. And I'd say one final thing on that in terms of market. Using mass balance account, like consumer packaged goods companies, they want to sell products to places like Jamaica, right? And Jamaica, this is where Jamaica, the Philippines, this is where all the plastics are ending up in the ocean. If they have these facilities, then they start producing this eco-methanol. That eco-methanol is desired by, Eastman Chemical in Tennessee. They wouldn't necessarily need to ship the methanol from Jamaica to Tennessee. They could do an exchange in the methanol markets, right? And in that way, then Jamaica would have a resource of methanol. They could start their own chemical industry or put it on, fill the mayor's ships that are going to use it as fuel.
This question is perhaps for the EPA. First of all, my name is Jairo Gonzalez, and I work with the U.S. Composting Council. And we're very excited to see the new food waste hierarchy that came out yesterday. Thank you very much. And when I look at recycling markets, I see an opportunity here in South Florida, as it is today in other states like New York and New Jersey, California, and all the Northeast. Food waste is a major component of new jobs and revenue opportunities for the counties. And the municipalities, maybe not as expensive as a hydrogen pyrolysis project. And compostables are in there, and packaging as well, as we see the new trend of this new packaging feature that is introduced into the compost. Where do you see South Florida moving into contemplating the utilization of food waste? As we saw this morning, it's a huge element of the MSW. I think I saw 20% at one of the charts from West Palm Beach. But where do we see food waste coming in at the role of South Florida to become a new recycling market?
That's for Palm Beach, I guess, or Broward County. Is that directed towards the local folks?
I could address some of that.
Yeah, okay.
Not just gas. Well, certainly you can gasify it. And so the point that I wanted to make there is that when you look at containers that are like a peanut butter jar, right, which has the peanut butter in it, that is perfectly gasifiable, so, not an issue. So we don't have to worry about cleaning our stuff anymore. But in terms of what we're doing at University of Florida, is we're looking for synergies amongst a number of recycling processes, right? So there are things like anaerobic digestion, which would make sense for food waste. And then there's other things that we're doing with this kind of technology in terms of producing, nitrogen fixation from air using the same technology. So we could use the effluent from the anaerobic digestion, the digestate, and enrich it with essentially ammonium nitrate to make fertilizers. So the point is that I'm not here to just say we should only be doing gasification, but I think it has to be part of the mix, and we should start, instead of having these processes competing with each other, is look at how they can be synergistically put together to maximize the benefit and the output. Thank you.
You were going to say something different?
Well, it's up to the other folks.
I mean, since everyone else is asking us a question, I had a question for all of you. Let's see who knows this one. How long does it take a PET bottle to decompose?
A gagillion years?
Anybody? No, not that long. 450 years. FYI. No Googling.
So my gagillion years.
What's that
wasn't
PET bottle
accurate?
right there, the one that you're drinking from?
Okay.
Now I feel really bad.
Okay.
2?
I
One.
have some surprising news. I'm sorry.
I'm finished. That was it.
Yeah, I have some surprising news for a government agency or group of government agencies. We're actually 7 minutes ahead of schedule. So, and this means you might maybe let you out 5 minutes earlier before rush hour traffic builds, except they forgot it's Friday and nobody's working today anyhow. At this point in time, our next topic is regional collaboration and coordination, a 7-county expert panel. And don't worry about them, they're just going to be talking trash. Okay, I apologize, and it doesn't say here, but I would like to thank our panel. And this was perhaps the most technical panel that we have had thus far. Thank you all. Remember that this is the joint meeting of the South Florida and Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council. So we have 7 counties present here. And so we are going to hear from directors from the 7 South Florida Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council's county's waste department. And they will focus on their recycling systems. Shh. Okay. They'll be focusing on their recycling systems, challenges, successes, and potential opportunities for collaboration. And this is going to be chaired by one of my colleagues on the Broward County Commission, Commissioner Beam Furr. It serves on the South Florida Regional Planning Council Executive Committee, where he's second vice president. He is elected commissioner from Broward County, District 6, representing parts of Hollywood, Hallandale Beach, and Pembroke Pines. Don't you also have Dania? Okay, they left Dania out. I'm sorry, and you don't, oh, this is his old district, not his new district, sorry. Commissioner First has previously served as Broward County Mayor, as an elected official, as a county commissioner, because he had a long background as a city commissioner. Before that, Commissioner Furr is focused on environmental issues, solid waste, transportation, early childhood education, and, drumroll, unless this has changed, is the only elected librarian in the country. Commissioner Furr.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. That one had my head spinning a little bit. How about you guys? I felt like I was in my high school chemistry class, and Dr. Wett actually looked like Mr. Higginson, my chemistry teacher. So I'm like, wow, that's a tough one. And Barbara, I think I will be trying to Google that acids of halogen. Who knows what that is? I have no idea what that is. But I'm real glad to have all these people up here today. These are the people, these are the experts that all of our counties depend on. These are the ones who run the public works departments and the sanitation departments, and by statute are obligated to make sure that all that we throw away goes to the right places, and they have to follow all the rules. They've been listening to all this all day, and for all of us, we're not in this every day. So for a lot of us, I know for myself, I've learned a ton of stuff. I've learned, I mean, from the get-go, every single panel has done a great job, and I just want to thank the SFRPC and the Treasure Coast Planning Council for putting together such a great group. And yeah, real good. And I say that in particular because there are a lot of people in here today that have just become a member of a brand new board, the Broward Solid Waste Authority. That just became an authority a couple days ago. And so they are listening here for the first time what they're getting into. And they're going, and I just know some of them are going, oh no. You know, because it is, the reach and the expanse of it is amazing. And I think I just want to start off asking you all, and I know we kind of talked about a few things, but to be honest, a lot of it's been covered. So I'm going to throw a few things out, but softballs, nothing tough. But your thoughts on, we've heard a lot about the circular economy, and I'm starting to get a little dizzy having gone around with it so many times. But not all of us have achieved that. Palm Beach is probably more along than some of us, but I'd be interested in hearing from all of you all where you think you are on that. Because I know you're mainly thinking disposal, but where are you on that continuum, and what challenges you think you have in front of you to make that happen? So I'm gonna and what I'd like to do is go one by one, starting with Sam. If you wouldn't mind, introduce yourself, and then just go with that.
Sure. Thank you. Is the mic on? Can you hear me? Thank you. Yeah, Sam Emerson, Director for Utilities and Solid Waste in Martin County. We've had several successes recently. We've also got some challenges currently, and moving forward, we've got challenges. As far as approaching circularity and a full circular waste stream, we're not there. We do a pretty good job with, I'll get into a few of the processes we manage. We have vendors that process C&D, the construction and demolition debris material. I have an excellent contractor. It's a subsidiary of Coastal Waste and Recycling. It's Roco Waste. They've been on board with us for about 2 years. They do an outstanding job. They're achieving about 60% on recycling, concrete, metals, wood. They have beneficial use for those products, but we're still landfilling about 40% of what comes in through C&D at the Okeechobee landfill. We'd like to improve that, but it's been real challenging. On single stream, we process that. We take that to St. Lucie County. We have a good relationship with them. They receive and process our single stream, and as of 2022 figures, we're about 20% contamination, which is higher than I thought. 19.83, I think, was the number. So we need to improve on that. We've got some opportunities to increase that and reduce that contamination. On vegetation, we have a very good vendor. They process all of our vegetation. It's brought to our transfer station. It's loaded. It's hauled about 4 miles down the road from the transfer station. They chip it. They compost it. They're actually burning some of that material in air burner. It's a metal, like a roll-off container, air burner type system. And they use that char on the adjacent property, which is a potato farm. So we're getting some beneficial use from all the veg. But overall, we're only about 54% of all our waste stream. We really don't have a process for MSW. It's transported to the Okeechobee landfill. And of course, we don't have an opportunity now. There's no regional waste to energy in our area. But we hope in the future that we'll be able to collaborate with St. Lucie County and their waste energy plans.
And Olga, you have a lot of challenges in front of you right now.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olga Espinoza Anderson. I'm the interim director for Miami-Dade County Department of Solid Waste Management. Just a little bit about myself. I haven't been with the county that long, only 34 and a half years. And I did start when I was 2 years old. I'm sticking to that story. I actually been with solid waste most of my career. I started out with solid waste, left for about 15 years, came back about 16 years ago. I'm an interim director now, and like we said, we have a lot of challenges. I probably have the most challenges of anybody in this room right now.
You want to go in? I think everybody understands.
Yeah, everybody knows about the challenges of a waste-to-energy plant burning down in February. So now trying to find the appropriate site to build a new waste-to-energy plant. Although that tragedy obviously has created a challenge for us, but it also created an opportunity. We have the opportunity now to build a brand new plant with new technology, state-of-the-art technology. Our plant was 40 years old, so we needed it. So a new plant anyways, it's just accelerated the process now. So we're excited about shaping the future of our waste in general. As it pertains to recycling, contamination, like everyone, is the biggest problem. And earlier this year, we actually conducted a composition study and found that we're actually heading in the right direction. Our contamination rate actually has been reduced by approximately 9 or 10%, so that's good to know. We also found that one of our biggest problems is having folks put things in bags. You know, they think they're doing a great thing by getting this bag and putting all the recyclables in it and then throwing it in the recycling bin. So, you know, we plan to hopefully target our marketing towards educating the public that putting bags into recycling is just not the thing to do. So we have a lot of things. I'll talk a little bit more about, you know, the things that we're going to do to improve it. But other challenges are, you know, Miami-Dade County is a melting pot of different cultures and nationalities, okay? So, you know, people that come from other countries, a lot of them, there's no such thing as recycling. I'm from Cuba. There's no recycling there. But, you know, we need to educate people, change the mindset, and make them understand why recycling is so important. So that's one of the challenges that we have because we have that melting pot. Also, people just here from the United States, we've had a lot of folks, especially after COVID, moving to Miami-Dade County. Well, the recycling program, wherever they came from, may have been different than ours. So again, education is going to be the key for us.
And Natasha?
I am Natasha Austin, Interim Director for Broward County Solid Waste and Recycling Services. And to echo what she's saying, education is definitely the key. We're a little different because I manage the unincorporated areas of Broward County, so we actually represent about 2% of the solid waste collected. We have 31 municipalities, but I'm very much looking forward to this Broward County Solid Waste Authority so that we can have one voice and we can have one harmonious message, especially when it comes to recycling. I recently performed a survey, and I'm looking forward to more cities participating, but the survey for recycling actually told us a little bit about what's going on with a lot of the recycling programs going on in Broward County. And one of the questions that I posed was, what's your highest contaminant? And the number one, plastic bags. Number two was food waste that they find in the recycling carts, residential recycling carts. And number three was tied with pizza boxes, stained with food, of course, and also other plastics. So that's laundry baskets, that's toys, things of that nature. And I very much look forward to being able to put together an outreach and educational component so that everyone in Broward County, and hopefully when they go from Broward to Miami and Palm Beach, that there's a similar message so that it doesn't confuse people. So I'm very much looking forward to working with the new authority and with my fellow counties up here.
Himanshu?
Hi, Himanshu Mehta. I'm the Managing Director for Indian River County Solid Waste Disposal District. We're a dependent district of Indian River County, and I've been there close to 20 years. And, you know, in terms of circular economy, I don't think we're there in terms of what we're doing, but we've always kind of been sort of for us, the forefront in trying to look at partnering with private industry. We have a defunct ethanol plant next to us, and there was a gasifier that they built. You know, initially they were taking yard waste and making syngas and trying to make ethanol from there. Unfortunately, it did not work out, and so the plant is just sitting idle. You know, since then, we've taken yard waste and we partnered with a company called Atlas Organics, and they have a really robust compost facility going on. So we're kind of excited about that. In terms of, again, partnering with private industry, one of the things that I think in this 7-county region, we might be the first to have a leachate evaporator. And so we have a 30,000 gallon a day leachate evaporator. And, you know, when it comes to PFAS and these other items that we're talking about, I love the fact that if we talk about closing the loop, right? Leachate used to leave our facility, go to the wastewater plant. Now, zero leachate leaves our facility.
We have 12 million gallons of it. Can you help us out on that?
Wow. No.
Literally, 12 million gallons.
12 million gallons. You would need a lot of evaporators. But no, it is neat. It is neat in terms of what we're doing. And I love the collaboration we have here, because I think it's the opportunity to learn from each other. And I hope that, I think as the panel continues to put ideas to all the sort of the decision makers in the room, right? We need your help to get the message out across. I think our 7-county region is a powerhouse. And if we can get the regulators in the room to kind of, push kind of the programs that I think will help all of our residents, I think is the key that I'm looking forward to.
Rebecca?
Good afternoon, Rebecca Olson. I am the Director of Public Utilities and Solid Waste for St. Lucie County. A lot of good statements already. I don't want to repeat a lot, but it's in terms of a circular economy. Internally, in our department, we take our methane gas from the landfill and we pipe that directly to Tropicana, so that's kind of circular. They pay us natural gas prices and they heat their boilers with that. We take the glass from our recycling, we crunch that up, and we use that as road base at our facility. Not a lot of people are recycling glass these days, but we found a way to kind of make do with it. We also use mulch. We use that internally. We mix that with quite a bit of dirt for daily cover. As far as the economy, I mean, I think in America we're very much a consumerist society. To get to some place like Sweden or something, that's going to be a huge culture shift, and I just don't think we're ready for something like that. That's going to take, like we talked, a lot of education and outreach. We recently just hired a full-time marketing and outreach coordinator, and I think that's going to help a lot with education. We're going to get out to the HOAs and to the schools and try to teach people about what's wish cycling and what's recycling. We are doing a comp study this year, and I'm actually pretty impressed with our contamination rate. Like Sam mentioned, it's 20%, and that includes waste from Indian River County, Martin County, and our county. And I think the average, if I'm not mistaken, was right around 25%. So I think we're doing pretty good at 19.8.
Didn't you get it down to 12% one time?
At one time we did, but that cost us a lot of money. We were going door to door handing out $100 bills.
I mean, I know. You might have had Palm Beach's budget on that. But
right.
you were doing PSAs everywhere. You were on radio, and it got it down.
Yes,
and
that was when we transferred from dual stream to single stream, and there was a big marketing push, and we did pretty good for a while. But people got lazy, and then our city that is within the county had to end up shutting down recycling for a little while during COVID. And that when you take away recycling and try to get people back into it, that's a hard sell. So we're creeping back down, but we're pretty happy with our partnerships we have going on.
I've told a lot of people about that success though that you had.
Yeah,
because it was
a great story.
We'll get back.
Maybe we can get there one day.
Yeah. Cheryl.
Cheryl Sullivan, Solid Waste Director for Monroe County. I listened to everyone talk, and no matter how big your county is or how small your county is, we all are experiencing the same things. In Monroe County, we have the cultural differences.